Podcast City Network.
Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Final Score, episode 104. Man, we just keep trotting along over that century mark, and it's been absolutely amazing. But I have a very, very special guest tonight making his Final Score debut. We have none other than Spayce from Podcast City Network's own Urban Nerd Weekly. How you doing today, bud?
Greetings, Earthlings, and what's up, Chris, man? How you doing today?
Oh, doing real good, man. Doing real good. You ready to do this thing?
I was born ready for this.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it, man. It's so awesome to have you here on the show. First time ever, people. So definitely got to make sure you mark this down.
Yeah, it's great to be here, man. This is an epic crossover for Podcast City Network Final Score times Urban Nerd Weekly.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to have a huge fun time. That's right. You definitely got to get that club horn in there, man. I tell you what.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure to stay up with all things Final Score by following us on social media at PCN Final Score on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Go on there and smash that like, that follow, and that subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on all the latest. That's right. Smash it. But you know what else you should smash? The like and share button on this post. So go down to either corner in the bottom of this post and hit them buttons for us, because that's the only way people know that we're here. I mean, kind of simple. So
right.
But
plus, how much fun is it to press buttons?
Exactly. It is. It truly, truly is. But you know what? We also have other things that are going to be exciting tonight, including a trivia t-shirt giveaway. You can't go wrong with that.
Right.
Had to bring it back a second time. But
y'all know y'all like free stuff.
Yeah, you can't
come on and win it, man. You got to get in to fit in.
That's right. You can't go wrong with free stuff. So for this trivia t-shirt giveaway, we're going to do something a little interesting, because we did have the NFL draft just this past weekend and starting this past Thursday. It was absolutely amazing to see all the draftees go and get drafted, finally realizing their NFL dreams. But we do have a really great question pertaining to it. And our question for trivia t-shirt giveaway this week will be, which NFL draft saw the most quarterbacks selected in the first round? Yes. First round NFL quarterbacks drafted most. How many did we see? It was a lot. I can tell you that. So if you can tell us that draft, you're going to win yourself a free new Final Score logo t-shirt to be able to sport around, show your friends, show your family, show everybody who cares about sports, and let them know that you're a fan of Final Score. Man,
that's right. Hop off in that chat. That's the only way you're going to be able to win.
That's right. That's right. So make sure you get that in the live chat right here that you see. I guess that would be to most people's right. I guess if we're looking out from the screen, our lefts, because we're inside your actual screen somehow. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too crazy with it. I don't know. All the earthlings out there.
It's like getting like Inception for the internet. Like we're inside the internet, inside the internet.
Inside the internet. Oh man.
Right.
See, we're gonna start blowing minds if we do that.
Right. We got our own pocket.
Oh man, but
you know what's in that pocket?
What's in that pocket?
Free t-shirts.
Free t-shirts.
You win the trivia.
That's right. So definitely make sure you get your answer in the chat to win yourself that free t-shirt. But speaking of things in the internet, you can also find all the great content for Final Score on the internet. All you have to do is go on to either Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Player FM, Bullhorn, Castbox, or for our video content on YouTube. On any of those platforms, you can go and search keyword PCN Final Score, all one word, and be able to find us there, and just smash that follow, smash that subscribe button so you get notified when new content drops, including this episode that'll be dropping this upcoming week. So definitely make sure to do that. But you can also find
I know Facebook and all the networks be hitting y'all up and all this stuff that you're on, give you a lot of notifications, but trust me, when you hear that like that, when you hear that Podcast City Network, you gonna want our notifications.
Podcast City Network.
That's right, just like that. So definitely make sure that you go on there.
I like to pretend I'm holding fireballs when I hear the last part.
Oh, I know. I feel like I have so much power. Like it's
over 9,000.
So trying to do everything that we can here. But You can also find all the great stuff for Final Score on Podcast City Network by going to podcastcity.net/FinalScore. And you can find everything there for us, all of our content platforms, all of our social media, everything we've pretty much done ever. You can find at that link. So definitely go there and check it out. But Spayce.
That's right.
Are you ready to join me here on Earth to talk a little bit about the NFL draft?
Oh, yeah, man. That's why I got in the spaceship, so we can land right here. Let's do this.
Boom, here we go. So the NFL draft, man, it was a doozy because we also saw for the first time since 1999, yes, since Donovan McNabb and Tim Couch were drafted, we saw 3 quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3 right at the top of the draft order. First time since 99, third time ever. Absolutely and crazy the kind of quarterback talent we had this year, man. What do you think of that?
Like, it was pretty insane. Like, in 99, I was only 9, so I've only, seen a handful of drafts. But this one was I was really on edge with it. And, I really just started getting into sports earlier this year, so it was kind of riveting to me to be looking at everything. And, of course, you already know since I'm from the A-Town, I was already looking at the Falcons picks. Yes, yes, they break our hearts every year. I ain't going to lie to you, but you know what? I'm loyal. I'm always down with my Dirty Birds. I'm always down with my Dirty Birds.
Your Dirty Birds got a great tight end too, and I actually know that. Yeah,
Kyle Pitts.
Yes.
Yeah, he down there from where y'all at, right?
Oh yeah, he's from Florida. And what's great is I actually know his cousin personally, a good friend of mine, and told me that he was hoping to go somewhere warm. So him landing in Atlanta, I think he's gonna want to be there. He's gonna play hard for you guys. And you know what?
If he landed today, he was gonna be warm as can be.
Oh, yeah, I heard it was hot up there today.
Well, you could fry an egg on the sidewalk.
Oh, you ain't even lying. That's what's funny about it. But
that was fly, though, because we got him on the 4th pick, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, woo, because I didn't expect, because, we Florida, Atlanta, we got this whole mirror image city thing going on. So, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of fun. Plus, we already know people from Florida, they be fast as crap, bro. Like, oh man, I heard they had them. Yeah. I heard they got y'all down there chasing rabbits.
I mean, you further down in the Florida you get, the truer that becomes. I'm not even joking you. I actually went and played when I played semi-pro football. Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of story time here on the show. When I played semi-pro football,
I want this story.
I went down and played at that high school, and it smelled nothing but like muck down there. But I tell you, the boys I played against were some of the fastest people I had ever played against. Even though we still won the game.
They were trying to outrun that scent.
That's right.
They were trying to outrun that stank.
But they weren't fast enough. We won 42-17. So, that being said, I also stepped on my quarterback's foot, which helped him get the ball a little bit further for a touchdown. So, I found ways to win that game. So.
Oh, yeah. We love accidental good things.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with it. But you know what? We did have even more big surprises that we saw during the draft, including cornerback J.C. Horn go before Pat Surtain, which no one in the world predicted. We also saw my Philadelphia Eagles. Did you see this? They traded up 2 spots.
Yeah, they got Devontae Smith, right?
Yep, they got Devontae Smith. So happy. Great pickup by the Eagles. And what was even better about it is that I was actually a guest on the Brew Party podcast. Definitely make sure to go check out those guys. Andy Hopper and all of them, really great guys over there, and gal, can't forget Sam. But
we're equal.
Yes, very equal. But they had me as a guest on their show. I had a really great time, but they had to rush me on because they ended up moving up those 2 spots, which I had all this prepared stuff I was going to talk about with the Eagles and their recent draft woes and all this stuff. And then they trade up, and it's like, oh, no, this is easy. Devonta Smith. Like, there you go. Haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2014. It's Devonta Smith.
Right. Yeah, they walked up in there with that suitcase like, don't tell nobody, but we getting that one.
Yep. Already. And they made the trade with the Cowboys, which was even more surprising. So,
yeah.
A lot of surprises,
I ended up not seeing that part live, but reading about it later on that day because I was doing something. And, yeah, I was very surprised by that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, what about the Patriots taking Mac Jones?
Oh man, that was a doozy. And you got to think that he's going to be the heir apparent after they only signed Cam Newton to a 1-year deal to bring him back as like a $14 million contract. But obviously they don't have long-term plans for him when they still have what's his name out of Auburn? I can't remember his name right now. That's been sitting behind Cam Newton. But you still have now. But now you bring in Mac Jones, who's supposed to be, in a lot of people's minds, he could end up being like the next Tom Brady. It's a guy who kind of broke out late in his college career, ended up being able to have some success, and now he's going to go in with low expectations and might be able to do something. However, Mac Jones wasn't drafted 199th in the draft. He was drafted, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was 15th. So with that being said, I feel it's going to be a little bit more lofty expectations. But my big thing is I don't know if he's going to see the field this year with Cam Newton being there. So I guess we'll kind of see how it goes. But what do you think?
It might be one of those things where they're bringing Cam back to help him finish off whatever he's trying to do, and they might have him grooming him to kind of slide into the position, because Cam, like, nothing against Cam, but some years have passed. Even if he's not like run down yet, he might just be ready to go. He's getting his money, you know what I'm saying, and he could still like play the game well and teach somebody else, because that's how he gonna keep his legacy going. Because every time they mention this guy, they're gonna be like, yeah, he came up under Cam Newton, and then 5 years from now we'll be understanding that's why they're in the Super Bowl for the second time, maybe.
Well, we actually just we finally have a winner. We have a winner for our free t-shirt giveaway, and it's none other than Jimmy, our meme god, who
Shouts out to Jimmy.
Yeah, buddy, who correctly guessed 1983. That's right, 1983. We saw six.
That is correct.
6 quarterbacks went in the first round that year. But fun fact, though, in 2018, 5 quarterbacks went in the first round, so that would be the second most ever taken as well. Nice little fun fact there. But yes, Jimmy, you are our winner. We'll definitely get with you after the show. Get your size, get your shirt, color, all that good stuff, and we'll get that sent out to you, buddy. And congratulations. That's awesome, man. I love giving away free
Jimmy,
stuff.
right? I was scanning Jimmy's Instagram early. He had this picture of Venom on there that looked fire.
Oh yeah, man. I tell you what, hey, Jimmy's hell of an artist. Don't let him lie to you. He's hell of an artist. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, he was trying to be humble, but I saw because when I asked him his process, he was like, "Oh, I freehand draw it and I color it in." I was like, I know you better than that. I know you fire than that.
Right.
But yeah, though, so shouts out to Jimmy for winning in the chat, man. He be hopping on all up in the comments. So we love Jimmy, right? Everybody loves Jimmy.
Everybody loves
Jimmy.
Jimmy. I love it. But you know what else was surprising? We saw the Patriots take Mac Jones, which means there was another quarterback that had to be taken for the San Francisco 49ers, who decided to take North Dakota State product Trey Lance. Now, what's interesting about this is that a lot of people have a lot of skepticism with Trey Lance, because he really only had, I believe it was 17 total starts in college football. So not a whole lot to work with, and he only had less than 350 pass attempts in his college career. So it's kind of hard to trust a guy when you have such a small sample to work off of, but the 49ers saw something they liked.
Right. And then at the same time, with that being said, with him having those stats, it's almost as if it's like, okay, so what do they know about him that no one else does yet? Because what if, what if he's got some crazy tape? Like, you remember how a long time ago, Michael Vick had that tape where he was just sitting there throwing balls from end zone to end zone.
Oh, yeah.
And all that was shot. Like, he was already had a name, but a lot of people didn't know he had that kind of ability. And then when he got, when he came on over here to the A-Town, they was like, oh, that's why he's here. And you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, well, it's not like LeBron, because everybody knew LeBron was the bomb since he was like,
of course,
15. But when you see those old videos, it's a big difference in hearing the hype, because it's not like, you know what I'm saying, he was on a high profile like commercial team or a college team. So even when he got there, they still had to prove to us why they thought he was amazing. So I kind of think it might be a secret weapon type of situation. You know what I mean? I think this guy might have something that nobody really, he might not have had the chance to show anybody, because there is a little bit of politicking here and there. So you make the wrong guy or the wrong girl or the wrong people mad. Sometimes it stunts your growth early, and it doesn't give you the ability to shine. So I think time will be the author of the rest of his story, because we could be seeing, another Cinderella type of story. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, we absolutely could be. And you're absolutely right with that type of breakdown, because with there being so little, they could just be seeing something very special that could end up taking this league by storm. So who really knows? But someone else who's I know going to be trying to take the field by storm is going to be Justin Fields, after the Bears shockingly traded up in the draft. Now, Andy Hopper, or Hooper, sorry, of the Brew Party podcast is a huge, I mean, absolutely huge Bears fan, and literally had to jump off air. Yeah, Dub Bears had to jump off for it, and it was so crazy just seeing him utterly just like freak out. Like at first, I thought he was just like,
I'm pissed now,
but he really wasn't. He was like just trying to like, I guess, make sense of it.
He was passionate. He was just passionate.
He's probably sitting there thinking,
this is madness.
So, it's, and it did seem like madness, but everything happened so crazily in this draft. So many moves, so many surprising picks. And another one, this is more of a deep field pick that I kind of saw was interesting because, I am a Notre Dame fan. Our fans know this, but obviously was interested.
I read it.
Oh, yeah. I was obviously interested in where Ian Book was going to land. And it was very interesting to see him land with the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
It's like you have another Taysom Hill now.
Much of Atlanta, as much as Atlanta have their little rivalry with the Saints, I do be like looking over and seeing them do some eye moves every now and then. But they ain't finna come to my city talking that noise, so it's whatever. But I was a little surprised by that too because a lot of times teams like the Saints, they have such a set lineup and they have things going like they have like kind of the same lineup for a while before they like bring in fresh blood because I think it's kind of like a family affair with them or whatever. So I was very surprised to see them kind of get somebody like that.
Oh, absolutely. And, it was very interesting to see how it went down like that. Just because when you had the departure of Drew Brees and now you're trying to bring in Ian Book, you kind of have two of the same quarterback with Taysom Hill and Ian Book. Honestly, I think Ian Book might have the slightly better arm. But still, when you look at their draft overall, they ended up picking up a defensive end, an inside linebacker, a cornerback, and then they went offense and picked up Ian Book and then picked up an offensive tackle and a wide receiver. So obviously offense was not their main goal with this draft. It was more rounding out the defense and finding pieces that they can give them more longevity, I think. But
that's actually what I was just about to say too, because I feel like with it being all over the place like that, I feel like they have something specific they're trying to do, and it might be one of those things where whatever they're doing might not even be complete until like next year's draft, because you know how some teams kind of take that season to like rebuild what they're doing throughout that season, and then they kind of come back, especially since like if you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure if you don't like if you're not like winning, that's how you be able to pick ahead, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, yeah. I'm still learning, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe like they're trying to get these pieces now so that it gives them the ability to get these pieces over here next year, and then they'll have a whole.
Because it comes down to being a better team. So if you could be a better team and find those ways to be able to improve the draft positioning, there's a lot of ways you can work it. A lot of teams going into this draft had so much draft capital, especially the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it was interesting to kind of see how a lot of this went. But looking at it though, who do you feel were some?
I'm sorry, I can't even think of the Jacksonville Jaguars without thinking about Lil Duval, because he ride hard for that team. What you was about to ball? Yeah, I've been a fan of his since I was like 11.
Oh man,
but
so crazy.
What were you about to ask me though?
No, I was gonna say, who do you think were some of the big winners or losers of this draft?
Well, I mentioned my Birds earlier. I think they round 1 and round 2 pick was a pretty good pick. And I also was looking at where I'm trying to think of the city so I can remember the name. Because I was watching that draft and then because you already know Baby Nerd is just turned a year old, so he is all over the place. But he was watching the draft with me, so he was rooting for Atlanta, and we were also looking at we like Seattle, because I became a Seattle fan after my boy Vic went over there, and Washington Redskins. I thought they had a couple of I thought they had a couple of good picks too. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say they were, major big winners, but you know what I'm saying, I like to look at what they got going on, because over the years they have a history of kind of coming in and like, you know what I'm saying, they always have a great game when they play the Falcons. That's what keeps them on my mind, because I've actually been to 2 of those games live, so you know what I'm saying, I like the picks that they had too.
Yeah, they definitely, I think, came in real strong. Another one I think I got to point out is the Jacksonville Jaguars. When you look at their draft, they did really great. Well, obviously, getting Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, his teammate, in the same round, in the first round, and then started just hitting everything that they have holes in: cornerback, offensive line, safety, defensive tackle, defensive end. They even got a tight end and a wide receiver. So they are trying to fill as many holes as absolutely possible, and I think they might have been able to actually have done it because I really like a lot of the talent they got. And to not toot my own team's horn, I think the Eagles had a great draft. Being able, excuse me, to go up and get Devontae Smith was a huge move, a very bold move, but one they needed because they need receiver help. And then go out and get Jason Kelsey's replacement at center with Landon Dickerson with your second pick out of Alabama too. Awesome picks. And then they work on defense.
And I think because these guys had like so much like hype, not hype. They you know what I'm saying, they actually could back up what they had the ability to do.
Exactly.
But I think, I really like it because, I know a lot of athletes, and it's good to see that like when they get that, because they get a bigger check when they get up in there. So I feel like whenever they put that money behind them, it motivates them to do stuff that they've never done before. And I'm really interested to see. I am interested to see how Jacksonville is gonna like perform this year, given the picks that they did have, because I know since what I'm saying, they got to get those early picks, and I think they've been very good about because of the fact that people like Lil Duval, that like they got a very die-hard fan base. So I think that revenue that they get from them is gonna help them, be able to actually pay these guys to do what they need to bring their team, from where they were to where they're at.
Absolutely. And that is a very astute observation with that entire breakdown. I love it, man. Absolutely love it. And oh wow, Jimmy with the great comment. They got more holes to fill than an adult film. Wow. No love lost. Oh, yeah, you gotta love it.
Cutthroat Jimmy.
But you know what? We're going to take a look real quick, though, at Jimmy's Raiders, because they're another team I felt that made some interesting choices, but I think are going to be able to help themselves in the long run, especially getting offensive tackle Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. That's really going to help.
Jimmy likes the Raiders.
Line. He is a Raiders fan through and through. And then they went and got Trevon Morig, out of TCU, a safety who's really going to help them in the deep field now. Because they were really aging in that secondary for the Raiders. So definitely being able to go get them some help, because they not only picked up one safety, they picked up two more safeties and a corner to boot to try and round out the secondary. So they're really trying to find some youth.
Yeah, and I also think that because of the fact that the whole pandemic thing that's been happening, I think a lot of these guys are about to be like, I think a little bit of everybody's team is really trying to come out swinging this year. You know what I mean? Oh
yeah, for sure.
Like they trying to have a real season like it was before all of this, and some of these guys probably being sitting at home. Some of these guys had COVID and beat it, and now they just ready to get back to the normal, just like everybody else.
Absolutely. So it's going to be great to see that once we can get back into full swing. Don't forget, though, that we still have training camp and OTAs that are going to be coming up in the next in the next few weeks. Supposed to have rookie OTAs, but I have a feeling a lot of things are going to end up going virtual, as we already saw a number of players and teams outright go ahead and boycott doing any kind of in-person training in the offseason because of COVID. So it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how things shake out going forward. But of course, we definitely will bring you that news here on Final Score once we have it available, and we'll be able to bring that to you. But
like, I totally get why they were on that, but I do kind of feel like it'll affect the camaraderie on the field when they actually show up for the games, because they haven't trained together.
That's a very, very good point. Very good point. But the thing is, they're still planning on doing a virtual workout. So where you'll be working out at home, but everything be kind of done in the Zoom style. You know what I mean? So
okay, I see what you're saying. Like,
I guess
like meeting style workouts.
Yes, kind of like that. So
we are living in interesting times. I tell you what, boy.
I tell you what, you ain't lying, boy.
But shoot.
and these days, it's just
inconceivable
to think what we have to go through just to get past everything, man. It's absolutely crazy. I feel like I'm at this point where it's like you just want COVID to end, and you're just looking around saying,
"You're killing me, Smalls."
Because I just want to be done.
Right. Like, I just want to go back to the regular. Like, can we go outside yet, Mom?
Yeah,
please?
right. And it's like thinking like you're getting down there, and it's like we look at COVID and are like,
But they are who we thought they were.
and we know what it is, and that's why we have a
Right.
vaccine and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
it still runs around because we got people that just
And we let them off the hook.
so it's great that
Right.
I was able to use both answers to that. That was so good. Anyway,
Right.
I'm
I'm
getting
loving
excited with
I'm loving the way you using your sound loops, man.
got to keep it fun here on Final Score. man.
Right. It's hard to catch me with something like that, but I'm getting caught every time. Like I'm over here like, oh, I gotta catch my bearings. He making me laugh harder than I'm making everybody else laugh. But it's fun though. Like I gotta get me one of those. Cause you guys know that all the Final Score listeners should know that me and Nano Kitty Cat will start going live every episode at season 8. We got a couple more episodes of season 9 finish out on season 7, but season 8 we live all up in your ear hole and your eyeball.
Oh yeah, all up in your ear hole and your eyeball, and that's gonna be huge, man. I can't wait to see you guys live.
Oh yeah, just got to get her out of Facebook jail.
Yeah, get her out of Facebook jail and make stuff happen. Just like Final Score and Podcast City Network made stuff happen to be able to bring you the latest and greatest Final Score merchandise that you can get with our all brand new logo, t-shirts, mugs, laptop sleeves, the whole 9. We got it. You can even get yourself a neck
Everybody
gaiter or
loves
mask.
y'all's new logo too.
Oh yeah, they do. And we're getting a lot of positive feedback. I haven't found one person who said a negative thing about it. And I'm not gonna lie, I made this logo. I think it only took me a week. So, I mean, hey, imagine if I had like a month.
Sometimes simplicity really is genius. Cause your old logo was fire. I really liked it. I like how because your old logo definitely gave you a full idea of what your show was gonna be about. You know, Final Score is a cool name and it lets you know that, but we see all the little da-da-da-da-da. But I think because you know, Final Score has kind of established itself now that you got the new logo, it's a little clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know that one scene in The Social Network?
Mm-hmm.
It's clean.
It's clean. It's clean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you got Jimmy in the chat just going wild saying master of the soundboard. Look at that. But hey, he did say season 7 was worth the wait. So already fans already liking season 7 over there, man.
Oh yeah.
Can't go wrong. Jimmy,
I got it coming for him. Oh yeah, I got it coming for him. Trust me. Meme God Jimmy.
Meme God Jimmy. Back at it again. But you know what? You can definitely find all the great stuff that we have over there because it doesn't matter really if it's a mug for your morning coffee, a t-shirt to look cool, or if it's just a neck gaiter to keep you protected from COVID. We got you covered. Get all of the latest apparel and gear for your favorite podcast and Podcast City Network by visiting podcastcity.net/shop and checking out the great lineup that we have over there. But now it is time for some college football news, and I've been waiting for this one because this is going to get exciting because not one but both the Republican and Democratic parties are backing a bill for name, image, and likeness rights for college athletes. Now, this is still in the works. There's still a lot to be done with this, but seeing an actual bill being backed by politicians is going to be very huge. What do you think about this, Spayce?
I think that is amazing, and I think that I'm gonna go ahead and just say I absolutely support. You know what I'm saying? You guys giving them their rights because I mean, I get it. It's college. Supposed to be here to learn or whatever, but we can't ignore the fact that college football actually has a more diehard fan base than professional football. And when you guys likeness and images at this point in their, you could go ahead and say careers at this point in their history of playing the game, you know, it makes it a lot harder for them to understand the true value of what they're doing if you're just shielding them from all of this. And B, I mean, a lot of college athletes that have to just struggle through college and still, you know, play a sport that is very physically demanding. You got to have the right diet. You got to have the right sleep. You know, if you're sleeping on the floor and you eating, you know, 2 cups of noodles a day, I mean, yeah, you're an athlete. You've built your body to be able to do this, but I bet you could do it a lot better if you had a little spaghetti in the actual bed every now and then. So, you know, I do definitely support the fact that they're trying to lobby for this because, you know, I knew a lot of college athletes in college, and a lot of the times I was very surprised to find out, you know, what all they had going on while they were sitting here playing this game and dedicating themselves to it. So it definitely seems like it would be advantageous for them, you know.
Absolutely. And when you really think about it with how NCAA bylaws are, in a lot of cases, you're not even allowed to hold a job of any kind while you're in season playing a sport just because.
Right, because they want you to dedicate that time in order to make yourself, in the right peak physical ability to play the way they need you to play on time every time.
Exactly. And how are you supposed to be able to keep your livelihood going? Like you said, if you're eating 2 cups of noodles every night, what are you, and sleeping on the floor, how are you really supposed to be able to be competitive? I remember back during the NCAA basketball tournament, this is probably, it's 2021. This is probably 2017 or 18, if I'm not mistaken, where there was one of the top flight players for one of the final 4 teams who had said that he was going to bed hungry during the tournament because they had such stringent bylaws on what they can and cannot have covered by the school legally. And it came down to the fact of a bagel. You can have a plain bagel and that's covered, but once you put cream cheese on it, that changes the game. And it's like, why should it be like that? That's ridiculous.
Right. It's kind of analogous to the music and entertainment industry. Like a lot of times, we see these artists that have been on tour for 2 years. They have like platinum albums. And then you come to find out they like live in a 1-bedroom apartment that they're behind on the rent for. And it's like, how does this happen? But it's the same kind of taking advantage of, people in their infancy of where they're going to be. And I've never supported that. You know what I mean? I used to have a lot of friends in the music industry. I mean, I still have some, but they tell me stories like, yeah, you'd be surprised how you see this guy's video. It's like #1 on, this is how long ago was his video. Is like #1 on 106 at Parker. He just asked me for $50 yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's like, he needed it. So it's the same. I feel like it's the same kind of taking advantage of. So I've always been against that.
Well, it's crazy to see Jimmy up in the chat right now who said, relieve the financial burden and some of these kids will finally have their chance to shine, not just athletically, but their educations will benefit too. And I absolutely agree with that. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is stifling these kids. It reminds me of the kid who played punter. He was a punter or a kicker, I believe. I want to say punter for UCF, who had his own YouTube channel that was separate, had nothing to do with football whatsoever, or anything with his collegiate career. Yet the NCAA tried to tell him either the YouTube channel or your collegiate career. And he said, I'll take my YouTube channel because it makes me money and I need to have a livelihood. And I applauded him for doing that.
And you and I know how much YouTube pays. And the fact that he was getting more from YouTube than them says a lot.
It says a lot.
Like, nothing against YouTube, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like, we know the scales, and if that's better than that, then what are y'all doing?
You ain't lying. You ain't lying at all. And that's the crazy part to it, is that if you have students that are in that type of position that are having to rely on that, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I shouldn't have to be as a student relying on that.
And the fact that you're trying to take that little bit away from him says even more, because it didn't have anything to do with you guys. And if I'm thinking like a logical person, in order to really be getting something off of YouTube, he can't be making anybody look bad because they have so much stuff they demonetize you for. I highly doubt there was anything he was doing that would have reflected negatively if anybody decided to figure out where he played it and it connected the dots and all of that. You know what I mean?
My thing is too, is like, you have these students that go to the school and you don't stifle them in that manner, and they still represent your school just as much. It just happens to be in a more, honestly, professional environment because you're representing the school, whether it be in different areas of academia, whether it's with whether you're doing education or engineering or the sciences or medical, whatever the case may be, you're still a representative of that school. So why does it matter more when it's an athlete? You know what I mean?
Right.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
But we know why. It's the money.
Of course, it always comes down to money, and
that's what it all comes down to.
Oh yeah, and we've already seen the disparity when it comes to the college football playoff, which Jimmy, I know, is one of our big supporters of bringing down the CFP and boycotting it, because at the end of the day, 4 teams is ridiculous. And if you watched our content or our piece that we had about North American sports and the amount of teams that actually make the playoffs in those sports, we saw the mass disparity when it came to college football. And where you have FCS, which the playoffs are going on right now, which we're going to touch on here in just a minute.
Yeah, we're in the quarterfinals, right?
Yeah, we're in the quarterfinals. So a lot of great games that are happening today, but they have a 24-team playoff, which makes complete sense, and have just as many schools as FBS football does. So there's no reason you can't tell me we can't have more than 4 teams making the playoffs. That's ridiculous. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see a lot more with this gain traction coming into the upcoming season. Obviously, I don't see anything happening until probably the summer, but a lot more could happen once they get the next congressional hearings underway. So hopefully we'll see more. So definitely make sure to keep your eyes out. But we're going to go ahead and we mentioned those 2021 FCS football championship tournament that's going on right now. We had the quarterfinals taking place today, where we saw Delaware take down number 4 seeded Jacksonville State 20-14. Number 2 seeded Sam Houston taking down North Dakota State 24-20. Now that is huge because if you remember, North Dakota State has been one of the most premier FCS programs for the past decade, producing talent like Trey Lance and like Carson Wentz. And now we're seeing them this season, literally starting this season, a complete fall from grace, losing their first game in over 34 games, losing their first home game, and I think it almost double that. And now went into playoffs unseeded for the first time since 2010. So absolutely crazy turn of events for North Dakota State, who is now bounced out of the playoffs by Sam Houston. So absolutely crazy what's happening over there. But we also saw James Madison wrap up their game against North Dakota just a little bit ago, winning 34-21.
They just came over the line of snuffing them, because I mean that was a close kind of game up until a certain point.
Oh yeah, and then James Madison just put it down on North Dakota. North Dakota couldn't do anything. But right now
it's one of them games that look like they hustled them. You ever play pool with somebody and they look like they sucked the first half of the game? Oh my God.
So small admission, I was that guy who would hustle people in pool. So anyways, haha.
I just got you. I saw a gleam in your eye. You was like, the good old days.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Hustling. But right now we do have one more game going on, and that's number 1 seeded South Dakota State, who's currently tied 7-7 with Southern Illinois. They currently have 20 seconds left in the first quarter on ESPN2. So if you want to check out that game, hop on over there and check that out. Of course, after our broadcast, though, because there's plenty of time left in that game. You have plenty of time for final score. So.
Right. But and still, I'm willing to bet they gonna, like, because you know how them late games get beat, they gonna pace themselves to their fourth quarter. So that 7-7 is probably gonna be ending right there at the end of the first. Then they're gonna show out a little bit in the second quarter, and by the fourth we're gonna really see who wants it the most.
Absolutely. And now the semifinals will be taking place next Saturday, May 8th. Currently, number 3 seeded James Madison will be taking on number 2 seeded Sam Houston, while Delaware awaits the winner of South Dakota State and Southern Illinois. South Dakota State is heavily favored in that game, but it's tied right now and anything can happen. That's why the games are played, baby. So
right. It's so crazy how, like, it's so many games going on now. Like, I remember being a little kid, it was like one game on for like 3 days, then you see college football, and then after that you'd have to wait till like a Monday or something like that. But now it's like it's a game going on every day. Like ever since I got into sports, I'm like, how does everybody keep up with this?
Oh man,
and that's what everybody starts asking me about rap music. It's like it's a new rapper every day. It's in the morning time, at night. Who is that guy? Like I don't know. You just press play. I don't know what else to tell you.
Dude, it's just so exciting. I get a little Ric Flair in there. So it's definitely a lot of excitement, but definitely make sure to keep your eyes out, though. We will have more on the FCS championships come next weekend, but definitely, hopefully the college football playoff committee are watching this, because I know all of us are looking at them saying, you know, when they talk about playoffs, we're just like,
I don't think it means what you think it means.
So hopefully they figure it out. That's my big hope.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. Just like we can always hope about all the great things that come out of Podcast City Network. What can you tell us about that, Spayce?
Podcast City Network is hold up. I mean, I meant to say FinalScore is a proud member of Podcast City Network. Podcast City Network has 20 independent podcasts, and growing.
Yeah, and growing. News on that front coming soon.
We got a big announcement coming. I've been waiting to be able to say something about it. We have 20 plus independent podcast members across all genres of podcasting. You can find Podcast City Network on all the major social media platforms at facebook.com/Podcast City Network, Twitter at podcastcity.net, and you can also find us on YouTube if you just search Podcast City Network. Now, we are always looking, because, you know, we team Podcast City Network to the end. We are always looking for interesting podcast hosts and content creators to join the network. I almost dropped my coffee.
Don't drop the coffee.
Right. But But we understand that may not be what you're looking for right now. You may just need like a new logo, an intro, or outro, video, some music, something to spice things up and shake up what you got going on. Or you might need help live streaming. I mean, clearly, we know a little bit about that. Voiceover work, or just some one-on-one consultation. No matter what you need, no matter what you need, we got you covered. Just go to podcastcitynetwork.services and fill out the contact form for your estimate so we can help you reach your podcasting goals. Be creative, be independent. Podcast City Network.
That's right. You know what? I'm going to have to do it again. We got to.
Podcast City Network.
Oh, it's good every time. I love it.
I just got to say this part, like every time Nano Kitty Cat and I record and that part plays, it like that's the thing that let us know, all right, it's time to go in.
That's right,
like
fans.
Our song is kind of like mellow, well, depending on how I tweak it, because I make it fast some episodes just to spice it up. I like to see how many people could tell the difference and when I do that. And I know Jimmy done caught on to it, so I don't even gotta ask. But as soon as we hit it, yeah, it's that time. It's that time. Yeah. Y'all already know Urban Nerd Weekly is Team Podcast City to the end.
Oh man. Jimmy just burnt me in the comments saying talent Carson Wentz. Oh man. Statute of limitations on pool hustling. Jimmy, the statute of limitations on pool hustling is about 24 hours. So if you haven't just lost money to me in pool hustling, I apologize. Your money is non-refundable.
I'm sorry, but the statute of limitations on pool hustling is if I make it out this door into my car, right. That's it. like if you see me after that point, you better be fast if you're gonna chase me.
And you know what? Talking about chasing people, we now have a new fight that's been announced between Floyd Money Mayweather and the YouTube sensation Logan Paul. And this one is going to be interesting. I'm sorry,
I just did not see that. I did not see that coming.
Oh, I didn't either.
Even though, he's like, Paulo has been talking, some smack. Like to everybody, like you see, he was beefing with Soulja Boy 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, with Soulja Boy of all people.
Like where did y'all even see each other? But then I be forgetting Soulja Boy be somewhere everywhere, and he likes to get people riled up. So I'm not even that surprised after I stopped and thought about it. But going up against Money Mayweather, it gotta literally only be his age that got him feeling this confident to do this.
It has to be.
Right. The only other person I ever seen take a swing at Money Mayweather and walk away was T.I., but I'm pretty sure security was involved.
Well, the only other one outside of that would probably be the Big Show, but Big Show had a bloody nose after it, so I don't think it worked out that well for him either. So
right, and that was the Big Show.
And that was the big show.
I was in middle school when the Big Show became the Big Show.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, so like it's always fun when like you see like people from different styles of like fighting have a thing going on, because it's like, especially when MMA first came out, like wrestlers were talking smack, boxers was talking smack, but then when you watch a mixed martial arts fight, it's like, hey, y'all better go practice some stuff before y'all go up against them. They ain't.
We
playing.
Talking about practice.
Better go practice.
Please,
but this
fight, believe me.
Right, but this fight's going to take place Sunday, June 6th at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. So definitely going to be very interesting with the venue. The odds right now have Floyd Money Mayweather favored by negative 100,000, minus 100,000, not even joking. A draw would be plus 1,600, and Logan Paul is plus 2,000 right now. But when you look at the tail of the tape, man, it tells a lot. Because Logan Paul is technically, as of right now, an active professional boxer who has fought one fight. Now, granted, his opponent was a pretty decent opponent in Kiss, but he lost that fight in 6 rounds. Definitely gave it his all. But Logan Paul does come in. He's 26 years old. He's 6'2", has a 76-inch reach, and fights as a cruiserweight. However, Floyd Money Mayweather is another animal entirely. In Spayce, I'll let you give that rundown.
Man, Floyd Money Mayweather, man, like, yeah, he's 44, right? But whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's like 5'8". He's got a 72-inch reach, and he's a welterweight. He's got a record, though, of 50-0. Like, you know what I mean? Like, age regardless, that's an earth-shattering record. He has 20. He's got 27 knockouts. I mean, seriously, the only person for the longest time that I ever thought would have gave Floyd Money Mayweather some real opposition, and rest in peace, Kimbo Slice.
Oh, Kimbo Slice, rest in peace, brother. My goodness, I remember watching him when he started in the backyard.
Oh yeah, that was my jam. Like when he hit that dude with the dreadlocks and all his hair stood up on end.
Yes.
That like he was like Kimbo Slice was like the hot sauce of like street fighting. You remember hot sauce from Street Ball?
Yep.
Man. You know what I mean? And like when you think about how if he ever had the chance to go up against AI back in them days, whoo, that's what everybody wanted to see right there.
Oh yeah, so, for sure. But look at this, man.
This fight's gonna make a lot of money though, because I mean they both have big names. Logan Paul's kind of a Gen Z guy, but these Gen Z folks, you know what I'm saying, they hype everything up. And I've been going over to look at Logan Paul stuff, so I ain't saying, you know, he ain't got nothing to bring to the table, but if he gonna fight Money Mayweather, he better bring it all the way to the table.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And this will be in a pay-per-view format. The payout is expected to be in the millions, and I'm talking millions for these fighters. Some saying upwards of 100 million. They're looking at 35 to 100 million, depending upon how much attention this can get in that short amount of time, because we're only a month out from this fight, so not a lot of time. But looking at the actual fight itself, man, who do you think comes away and wins this?
I mean, to be real with you, I mean, it ain't even just because of the legacy. I got to go with my man Money Mayweather. Like, I mean, because the truth of the matter is, even though, you know what I'm saying, he been retired, I think that gave him the rest he needs. And the fact that he even agreed to do this, I mean, I'm sure the money had something to do with it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But the fact of the matter is, he still agreed to do it. And a guy like that ain't gonna agree to, because you know he's also flashy. He likes to be out. He like to be seen. So I highly doubt he's gonna come to this fight not bringing everything he got, because he don't want to be out here in these streets having lost like that. Because you know what I'm saying, they especially when they hyping this fight up, and it's gonna bring in all of this money, and it's gonna be in the summertime, so it's gonna be the height of, like, you know what I'm saying, viewer season. So I'm ready to see this, because you know it was originally scheduled to happen in like February or something like that, right? It was originally scheduled for February the 20th, but then they postponed it because of the coronavirus. So I think just having that the fight was almost happening then, he was probably like super ready. So now it just then gave, I mean, I'm sure it gave both of them extra training time. And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and say I do think he, you know, bro, got something to bring, but I think it's gonna be one of those fights where we're gonna watch that all the way to the end of the last round. Like, it's not gonna be, I don't think Mayweather's gonna knock him out. I don't think he's gonna have a knockout. He might, but you know, because it's, you know, he's a young, you know, Logan's a young guy, so he gonna have that bounce to him, and especially since, you know what I'm saying, he been beefing with everybody in their mama, and you know what I'm saying, the way his, you know what I'm saying, the aforementioned fight went, he's definitely gonna have something to prove, especially coming up off of YouTube. He doesn't want to go back home and read all of them comments when he gets up in his laptop. So they both gonna bring their A game, but I think after that last round, I think experience is going to trump vigor.
I have to agree, honestly. Floyd Money Mayweather, he's gonna come in here and just be like,
I'm a man. I'm 40.
and show him why he's a boss and why he's gonna come in and honestly wreck Logan Paul. I think this fight's gonna go maybe 4 to 6 rounds, but I think Money's going to really be toying with him. And it's not anything against Logan Paul. Logan Paul, honestly, is not a bad fighter. It's just he's really, really green. And
yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, the only thing he has is 6 inches and 4 inches of reach on him, plus a little bit of weight. But experience will always trump all. And honestly, I think Money not only wins, but I think Money could get a knockout here. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, though. And it'll all happen.
Cause I already could tell you, I agree with you. He gonna play with him them first couple of rounds just to see, what he's got to bring. But you know what I'm saying? Once he done figured him out, cause that's where the experience come in. He gonna watch how you moving today, how you move your last fight, how you moving right now. You know what I mean? So he gonna play with him a little bit. Plus, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure, Mayweather being Money Mayweather, he gonna want it to be entertaining. I don't think he wants to take him out too quickly if he does knock him out, because he likes it when we're entertained. That's one of the reasons he started fighting. He likes he's definitely a spectator fighter. He loves it. He feeds off the energy just like a rapper or anybody else that does something on stage. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
And then plus he's had the money to be able to keep himself up. And 44 really isn't that old. I mean, it's really not. It seems old in sports and entertainment years, but it's really not. I know a lot of 44-year-old, and I'm 30, and I know a lot of 44-year-old dudes that I wouldn't take on unless I had like a full meal and some practice time. You know what I mean?
You ain't lying,
I ain't scared of nobody, but I'd be very smart about my decisions.
Oh, man. But it's going to be an interesting fight. You can check it out June 6th live from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. So definitely make sure to check that out. And, of course, we will have the results here on Final Score. And I don't know. We might be laughing. We might not be. We'll see what happens. We might all get shocked. Who knows? But a quick shout out, though, to Everett Lee in the chat. What's up, bud? Just finishing up.
Shouts out to Everett.
Yeah, for the Everett Lee show. Just did a whole episode on the Falcon Winter Soldier just a little bit ago. So definitely make sure to go on over to the Everett Lee show Facebook page and check out all the great content he has, including that latest episode. But man, you know what else?
Podcast City Network is lit tonight.
Lit, going crazy.
Right.
Going wild.
I don't even think people timelines can handle this right now. I bet some people like, oh wait, Everett just went live and their Final Score is live. Oh wait, they got Spayce from Urban Nerd. Wait, did he just do an episode with Russell from Deathmatch Russell Podcast? They like, wait a minute. What is going on my timeline? What is going on my timeline?
Too much craziness. But you know what else is crazy?
Too much sauce.
All the awesome and wonderful stuff that City Limits Tap Room has to offer, because you can check out City Limits Tap Room located in beautiful D-Land, Florida at 2620 North Woodland Boulevard in beautiful D-Land, Florida. And they have a lot of great specials they run every single week, including Mondays with all-day $6 wing baskets and $5 pitchers of Yingling, Land Shark, and Busch Light, as well as Tuesday, which is Guys Night, half off all wells and drafts from 7 p.m. to close. Wednesday, all-day $5 pitchers of whatever beer they have from 2 p.m. to close, and $2 seltzers at the outside bar. Thursday's Ladies Night with those $1 wines, wells, and giraffes from 7 p.m. to close. And Friday, you have karaoke with Al, great friends of Podcast City Network, from 7 p.m. to close. And Sunday, $13 domestic buckets and $16 import and craft buckets all day long. So get on out to City Limits and check out all the great stuff they have going on there. And I know they have a venue there in stage, so they do plan on bringing back live music as well. So definitely keep an eye out on their Facebook page when those get announced. So much great.
And I'm gonna double down on that. Make sure y'all check out their Facebook page and they site, because when I say I want to, like, I can't wait to hit Florida, because I want to try to. It looks so good. Like I went through the whole thing, when I got on with you guys. I was trying to see who the sponsors were and all that, and I was like, yo, this look like they need to bring one of these up here.
I'm telling you,
like, my stomach legit growl.
You can come down, man. You stay with me, man. We can go get some City Limits anytime, man.
We need to do that. We need to do that. We'll have us up. Like, y'all know all the Final Score, Urban Nerd Weekly Podcast City Lovers. Y'all gonna know when we link up, because we're gonna do a super surprise live, and y'all ain't gonna know what's going on.
Oh, you ain't even gonna know. It's gonna be a surprise draft day.
Right. The real draft day.
That's right. But it's now time for good old meme madness. Oh, and there's some good ones today. I cannot wait to show some of these off, and some of which I had to kind of squeeze in last minute. But the very first one, we're going to take a look back, go back in history in honor of the NFL draft, and take a look at a story from Deion Sanders, who said, I was in the Giants room. They sat me down and gave me a thick book, thicker than a phone book. I said, what's this? They said, this is our test we give all the players. I said, excuse me, what pick do you have in the draft? They said 10th pick. I said, I'll be gone before then. I ain't got time for this. And I left. Legit story from Deion Sanders.
I believe it though, bro. Deion Sanders ain't never held his tongue. He looked like he one of those people who they publicists follow them around. Don't say that.
Oh,
Say
yeah.
that.
You ain't lying.
All right, you
man.
can say that. You can say that. You can say
All right,
that.
you're good there. You're good there. Oh, wait,
Right,
hold up
that's
on that
cool.
one.
That's cool. That's cool. They like when you say stuff like that.
Right? But you know what? Our next one, though, I thought was really interesting and probably the ultimate stab right here. The Rams legit had a portrait of Roger Goodell in their draft room and actually got a picture of it. This is absolutely insane. There's a legit portrait. Legit portrait. That is horrific.
Right, like a portrait, like a painting
A
portrait.
legit painting
like they commissioned
portrait.
this from a person.
Yes.
Like they're at their estate and the mom and the dad are in the yard and okay, alrighty then. I've never heard that before. We was getting ready for it.
Oh man.
And I almost did believe it.
But you know what? Our next team's a really good one, and this was something that could have happened at the draft, but thankfully the Packers were smart and ended up picking up a wide receiver eventually. But the Packers would have drafted a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers was like, all right, I'm heading out. All right, I'm heading out.
Put in SpongeBob.
Insert SpongeBob here.
Right, exactly.
Oh
man. So what do you think about the one with Jamarcus Russell when he was given a tape by the Raiders back in 2007? Like, what's up with that?
Oh my God! So back in 2007, the coaches didn't think Jamarcus Russell was studying film, so they gave him a bunch of blank cassette tapes. And the next day he came in and said he watched all the blitz packages on those same tapes. So it just goes to show Jamarcus Russell was not the guy that they were looking for.
Yeah, bro, you got to watch that game tape, man. Cause like I know you want to get out there and play, but I've definitely seen the difference between teams who study and teams that don't. And they knew he was gonna get lit up because he ain't watched nothing.
He didn't watch squat. But you know what? Right, real quick, we need to take a live look in at Joe Burrow's other ACL. Chuckles, I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Oh wait, is that the one with the Simpsons meme?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Yo, I just realized how long I've been on the internet because I was, I've been here. The young whippersnappers don't remember back in the MySpace days when people was just figuring out memes. They didn't even have a name for them yet. They was just funny pictures with words on them. That's what we used to really call it. Then someone said meme one day, and the guy that made that up is probably filthy rich.
Oh my God.
I gotta look that up. Is the word meme trademark? Somebody probably owns that. Somebody owns the color blue. I bet somebody owns the color blue. Somebody probably owns the word meme.
It has to, absolutely. And you're gonna find out how much that it's worth, and you're gonna be like,
I'm pissed now.
So it's gonna be
right. He busted one move. I've been breaking my back on this internet since 2008. I don't know what's going on in this world.
But you know what? Sometimes we don't know what the hell your teams are even doing in this world because we get excited when it's your turn's team to pick, and then you see who they actually picked.
Right. And then it's because sometimes it's like, oh, I'm glad they got them, and then the other times it's like, did they think this all the way through before they did this? Because when it's your team, the stakes are a little higher when you're seeing their picks.
Oh yeah, for sure. But our next one is a good one, actually made by good old meme god Jimmy. And we're sorry, Jimmy, that we had to bring up Jamarcus Russell. We know that's a sore point for you. But when you see the college football playoff committee trying to take baby steps instead of giving fans what they really want, well, ain't that cute? But it's wrong.
You should have had a soundbite for that one right there.
I know. I got to make one for that.
I feel like The Rock has a sound clip somewhere, kind of like the whole, it doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh, you just gave me a great idea for my next few sound bits. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Throwback classics. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's too good.
Oh, man.
But you know what? Tonight was a really awesome crossover event with Final Score or Urban Nerd Weekly, and Urban
Nerd Weekly. Wow.
Wow.
We both got the team jerseys on.
That's right, mate. Getting it happen. Oh man. But
I did love that meme that he put up though with the Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, you like that, didn't you? That was a good
one.
I
did. Especially with the caption, because she was the one that made it. He was like, Well, might as well watch them both. And that's what I say. That's what I say.
That's win-win. But you know what? You know what else you could do is check out all the great stuff with Podcast City Network. What can you tell us about joining Podcast City Network?
Now, if you guys would like to join, because, you know, we mentioned earlier what all you could get if you didn't want to join, this, that, and the third. But if you guys would like to join Podcast City Network, like, let me ask you, have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? Or maybe you don't know how. Do you already have a podcast? Or, you know, are you trying to find ways to make your podcast profitable? Well, you're in luck. You can learn to do it right here at Podcast City Network, man. We offer consulting services and tutorial classes to help with learning to better expand your knowledge and to grow your show. We also have access to our network of shows to help cross promotion. He said it. We're doing it, and he said it. Yes, and overall reach, while also becoming a part of our ever-expanding PCN community, based on people helping people. The best pass is no membership. The best part is no membership fee. So what are you waiting for? Go to podcastcity.net/join now and join the fastest growing independent podcast network around, Podcast City Network.
That's right, fans. So definitely make sure to check out all the great stuff Podcast City Network has going on. And quick shout out to Jimmy yet again in the chat. He said Richard Dawkins used the word meme in the 70s as a cultural gene. So man, so it's look at him. I
just learned a thing.
I learned a thing too.
Nerd points acquired.
Oh man, but Jimmy also saying that we got that tag team champs energy going on. I have to agree.
I feel it. I feel all of that energy way from Florida all the way to Georgia. I feel it.
That's right. But you know what? We need to go ahead and channel that energy into the good old give or go. Oh, yeah. We got some good ones.
Let's get it rocking.
Yes. First one I'm going to send right to you. The Seattle Kraken of the NHL have made their final payment, which was right around $630 million, if I wasn't mistaken. Millions. And officially become the 32nd NHL team. Give or go.
I'm going to say go.
Yeah, we're going to go on this just because this wasn't surprising at all. We knew they were going to make this payment, but it is nice to finally see that 32nd official team in the NHL. I ain't going to lie. It is nice.
Right. And you know what I'm saying? I've actually had a lot of looking around at the NHL because, you know, we used to have a team here and we kind of don't anymore. So I kind of had to, like, whenever I feel like watching hockey, I got to go find somebody else's, you know, find another team to like. So, you know,
no
but I am so
for you guys.
I know it's okay though because they had the same thing going on. And, you know, some of our teams have going on. They break our hearts, but you know who ain't breaking no hearts?
Who's that?
Atlanta United.
Ooh, that is a very, very good point.
Oh, we was thrashing in like 2019, 2020. Like, you see what I did there? They was
thrashing.
But yeah, they was smashing the dashing. I mean, they first season when they were with us was kind of amazing. Like it took the city by storm. I don't know if people know this about Atlanta, but a lot of people had started watching soccer just off of the performance of Atlanta United.
Oh man, that's so crazy. Absolutely crazy to see that kind of stuff happening. But hopefully, I really do hope though Atlanta does get an NHL team back one day, just because the Thrashers were hell of a team, man. They're really hell of a team. But they were. You know, it works out.
But you know, there's something even crazier than that though.
What's crazier than that? Recently,
LeBron James's rookie card was sold for $5.2 million.
Oh my gosh. That's insane.
And can you imagine how much money that card will be worth when LeBron retires?
Oh,
if it's at 5.2 million, at least if it's 5.2 million right now, I mean, you know, we know the beginning of LeBron's story with the whole Nike immediate endorsement. So it's I get it, but to see the number is like, wow. When you're so big that someone can make $5.2 million off of your card with you on it, That says a lot.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't just him either. It was also part of a jersey because it was part of his rookie patch autograph series. So it was part of the 2003-2004 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection rookie patch autograph card. Say that 5 times fast. That literally was a parallel of his card numbered out of 23 and was sold privately on the marketplace, PWCC marketplace. And this is a graded 9 card with a perfect 10 signature on it. So this is a very highly rated card that ended up selling. Man. And this has been and is now the most expensive basketball card, knocking the Panini National Treasure Luka Doncic Logo Man RPA that sold in March for $4.6 million. Took him right out the running and replaced that with this. So
yeah,
so
that was a sweep. Yeah. Did they say who they sold it to, or did they?
It was a private buyer.
Yeah. So if it wasn't Gary Vaynerchuk, he is somewhere kicking himself right now. He's like, all I needed was 5.2. I could have got that too. Because Gary Vaynerchuk loves like baseball, like athlete cards and stuff. He still trades them like it's like 1947 or something.
Yeah, and you ain't lying, man. And it's pretty crazy when you look at that and how that. It's just the whole kind of the entire card market's gone insane. Like even me, I actually have a certain amount of undisclosed personal cards that I have of sports and other kinds of relations that are currently being graded. And it's just crazy when you look at the value of what these cards are going to sell for, because I know I'm going to end up making a small little fortune. So, it's crazy, man. It's just absolutely crazy. Right. But our next one,
I've been sitting on some cards myself that are going to be worth a little bit, because I got some of the original holographic. I got some of the original holographic Pokemon cards.
I just sent in 40 to PSA.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So
it's awesome to talk to somebody who remembers when Pokemon came out, because it was the card game, the TV show, and the video games all in one.
1,000
like,
plus
oh my
cards.
God, everything is amazing. Yeah. I was one of those 25 million first day Pokemon Go downloaders. I'm not even gonna lie. I was one of those.
I was too. So anyways, we had to talk about something else that is going to be interesting when it comes to collector's items, and that's the Golden State Warriors, who became the very first professional team to launch an NFT collection. Now, if you don't know what an NFT is, that is literally a collectible item that you get through cryptocurrency. What do you think about that, Spayce?
Whoa. First of all, I did not know that like cryptocurrency had crept its way into sports. Like when did that happen?
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, but they did do that, you know what I'm saying? They did it on OpenSea platform like Tuesday morning, right? And they became the first professional sports team to do it. Now, this is the wave of the future, quoted by President Brandon Schneider. So we've been studying what the best way for us to get involved and create something for our fans is. NFTs have been around for years, but they've really become more mainstream and popular like this year, which I could get why, because as soon as the pandemic hit, like Bitcoin, and because they was like kind of down in cryptocurrency like the year before that, because I remember Urban Nerd Weekly was talking about it when they first was starting to get the biggest buzz. It was around the time they did the net neutrality thing with the government and all that. But once this came into play, I think a lot of people were just kind of scrambling for a livelihood, and I think that's what kind of boosted it. So they've really become more mainstream and popular like this year, though. The inflection point is kind of like just watching the NBA top shot start to explode. So I definitely think it's going to be interesting to see how this flows, you know what I'm saying? Because the NBA has seen like huge returns on their blockchain based stuff. Yeah. And that allows fans to buy, sell, and trade number version of officially licensed video highlights, which is so crazy, like, because this stuff is stuff that you could technically have gone to jail for basically taping it with your VCR, and now they have a whole racket to like make money from this. This is crazy. They launched it like last fall, and they did it in collaboration with Dapper Labs, and the NBA actually is already raked in like 500 million from like the Top Shot alone. So I don't know what that is beyond crazy. Like I've been sitting at home trying to figure out how to get them to take the bottle, and there's a $500 million just flying through the air, and people are sitting at home making it. Like that's crazy.
Nothing, man. Maybe Podcast City Network needs to launch an NFT collection of some kind. I don't know.
Right? We got to figure out how to get into that racket.
You ain't lying, man. Just like the
Right,
racket with Florida lawmakers. So I don't know if you saw about this at all, but Florida lawmakers are agreeing to reinstate July as a start to their collegiate athlete NIL compensation law. Now, if you remember, I don't know if you remember this though, Spayce. Back at part of last year, the big push for NIL law was trying to push it to the federal level, but states started taking it on themselves because they're like, you know what? We ain't waiting on the federal government. We're going to do it ourselves. And Florida became one of the first states.
Which is, that's how our southern states like to think. I don't care about y'all. I'm going to do what I want.
I'm going to do what I want. We're going to get our football. So,
Right.
and that's pretty much how it's gone. And now they've been able to open the doorway and have now reinstated July to be able to bring this back. I think this is absolutely amazing just because of the fact that Florida now gets to be able to be a spearhead for NIL law. And I hope that UCF punter goes back to the football program and says, guess what? You can't stop me now just because of this. You know what I mean? What do you think about that?
I think I believe it's going to pass. I'm just going to speak it into fruition. When they do this,
yes,
I think a lot it's going and it's going to be the same thing how we was talking about with the drafts earlier. Like now that these guys don't have to struggle as hard because they can use their selves. Because it sounds crazy when you think about it that they can't use their own likeness and image and all that when it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody, my mama should have the ability to tell me whether or not to do that, but I don't think y'all should be able to. So when this does happen, you know what I'm saying? I think because they trying to do it by like July of next year. If it does go through, that's when it's supposed to, like 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think it's gonna put a lot of heat in these athletes' chests, and it's gonna, especially like it's because the thing is, it's the ripple effect of time. It's the high school kids that see this happen that are gonna be like, okay, now, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have to feel like I'm trading half my soul to have a shot at doing the thing that I love for a living. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. Like I want this for them, and I don't even play. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, is that these kids deserve it, and more so than anything, because these kids need to find a way to be able to make money and be able to still go to school. So NIL laws are going to be part of the wave of the future, no matter how you look at it. So the
fact that there are even coaches out here that are actually supporting this is the biggest kind of thing to me. Like there's coaches that are actually like, yeah, let them boys get what they need. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure some of them didn't even want to be complicit in a system that has this going on, but everybody got to get their money some kind of way, right? So I kind of could get how a coach could be in between positions when they think about it, but the fact that some are go ahead and speaking out like this, the coach is the real spokesperson for the players.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to any athletes, but a lot of them, you know, they don't have that eloquation ability that a lot of coaches have. So sometimes one coach's voice is worth 44 other guys' voices.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You absolutely are right on the head, because that's usually the leader of your football team is that head coach, and he has to stand up for his men. And if he doesn't, then really what is he doing? So I absolutely 100% agree with that.
Like if he can't, because as a player, they're going to look at it as if they're not standing up for us, then why should we run for you?
Yeah, that's a very good point. But you know what? Jimmy brings up something interesting. Financial desperation leads to bad action, and that is very true as well.
Absolutely. And that's because I feel like even some of the guys that did make it into the NFL or to make it pro, like I feel like they might have developed some of those bad habits when they were in that desperation mode that makes it like when you hear people like, okay, it's the night before the Super Bowl and you're getting arrested at the strip club. Yeah. It's probably because that's the only way you could stress relieve when you ain't have but like $20 to your name. Yep. So you build these bad habits during times of desperation and just trying to find a way to mentally stay here when if you could, you know what I'm saying, have what you needed at this time, then by the time you guys become pro, you could be like all of the other guys that already came from money, because you never see those. Well, you rarely see those guys get into some BS, and if they do, you know what I'm saying, because of the fact that they've had what they've had for so long, they understand how to use their resources to keep this from becoming a bigger thing than it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
I feel like AI, people like AI, you know what I'm saying? We all knew how he used to come to practice and didn't really care. And it's like, because he had to do some things to stay in college in order to make it to the
practice.
NBA. He had to do some things before he got where he was going. So if he hadn't had to do all that, we probably wouldn't have seen all the shenanigans that were coming later on in his career.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Very, very true. I think you just hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah. Let's see what's happening.
Yeah, man.
Like I'm down. I'm so glad that stuff like this is going so high up into stuff like the Congress, because I think for the longest time it was just, you know what I'm saying, lunchroom conversation, and it's good to see something like that elevate to the point of actually having action being put to it.
Absolutely, I agree, man. Absolutely agree, and it's great that we're finally all the way into 2021 seeing this finally happening. So hopefully it keeps on going, and obviously we'll definitely report more here as we see this unfold, because this is something that us here at FinalScore have been pushing for, is definitely things and changes in college athletics when it comes to the college football playoff, when it comes to NIL laws. These are things that we really push for and believe in, because these are what help benefit these people that really need it. It's easy to get your team, but support them boys too, and these girls too, that really need that help. Man, I think this.
Yeah, me too. Like, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Like, it was like a call to action laced up in this story somewhere. Like,
right.
Like, you know what? Someone should do a documentary about the process of this going on. I bet that's gonna be a 5 story when it all ends.
Man, I'll be in ESPN 30 for 30 in no time. I already see it coming. But
you feel me?
Something else you can see coming, though, is another great source for your podcast discovery, because Apple Podcasts is no longer the only credible place to rate and review podcasts. So you can go to Podchaser and podchaser.com to follow creators, browse every podcast ever, and rate and review episodes. Just go to podchaser.com and search keyword FinalScore, one word, and follow, rate, and
Urban
review
Nerd
us.
Weekly.
That's right. You can find Urban Nerd Weekly there as well as the Everett Lee Show and another Podcast City Network affiliated podcasts. Man.
Right.
A lot of great guys. We actually got to meet the people who created Podchaser back at Podfest 2020, and man, really great guys.
You guys been to Podfest?
Yeah, we went to Podfest thanks to Podbean. Podbean gave us the hookup, and we were able to meet the Podchaser guys, and really great guys, really nice, really great minds, and really they love the name FinalScore too. Told us to keep running with it, so we ain't giving up yet. But really great guys and everything that they're doing over there with Podchaser, man.
And I really do like Podchaser's influence on, because if you've noticed, like, ever since Podchaser has become kind of a staple, because I feel like they're becoming a staple, it's just seemed like the whole rest of the internet has kind of taken more value to podcasts. You know what I mean? I think
for sure
iTunes definitely had like the main stage for a while, but now that sites like Podchaser have come up, it's made Spotify like be like, oh, we should look at podcasts. And now, you know what I'm saying, there's so many streaming platforms. If we was to sit here and name every streaming platform our show was on now, I'd have to take a breath. I mean, even Pandora's link got podcasts, because we're on Pandora as well. Pandora has podcasts now, so and I feel like that's a great place for podcasts too. And I think sites like Podchaser are what raised the valuability of podcasts as a whole.
Yes.
So big shouts out to them.
Absolutely. I have to 100% agree. So definitely make sure to go check out podchaser.com. But now we got to take a look at the week ahead. And we do have the FCS semifinals that will be taking place next Saturday, like we mentioned earlier. But what can we expect from Urban Nerd Weekly? Anything from Urban Nerd Weekly over the next week?
Oh, absolutely. We actually about to drop 2 bombs on y'all. We dropping one on Monday and another one on Friday. So make sure y'all look out for that. And we also going to be dropping an interview with a chef from Atlanta really soon. So make sure y'all tune in and nerd out for that, man. So, and big shouts out to Nano Kitty Cat. She's definitely going to be with us. Because I know everybody's like, I just got to say, Nano Kit Kat has brought my show from here to here. People love our banter, and she's hilarious, dude. So big shouts out to my partner, and also shouts out to your partner, Craig. What's up, Craig, man? If you're watching right now, I hope I did half as good as you always do to fill in your spot today, man. Because I know, because you guys, y'all a 2-man show with us. Y'all come with it, so I knew I had to come with it today.
Oh, you definitely did. And we definitely enjoyed having you on here. But you can also check out our PCN sports lineup of Not a Hockey Market podcast, the Nest podcast, the Rip Griffin Show, Fixed Edge, and Not Your Average podcast in the 716 as part of our huge PCN sports lineup, including Final Score. And we always try to bring the latest and greatest when it comes to sports in PCN sports. Definitely make sure to check out all those podcasts along with episode 105 of Final Score that will take place next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live. Definitely don't want to miss that one. Got another guest I'm going to be bringing on for that show, so make sure to keep it peeled. A lot of great stuff going to be happening, man. And
oh yeah,
it's going to be crazy.
And one more shout out to every show on the network. Like we said it earlier, but we got to say it again. There are a lot of awesome shows on Podcast City Network. Like we just brought in Not Your Average Podcast in the 716, and I got to tell you, man, they've been dropping some heat ever since they came out. So big shouts out to T, you know what I'm saying? Big shouts out to Mike, you know what I'm saying? We are one big Podcast City Network family over here, man. Like all these shows are awesome. Anyone that you haven't checked out, I guarantee you, if you check out a whole episode and it's your cup of tea, oh, you're gonna rock with it. You're gonna rock with it.
For sure, man. For sure. You hit the damn nail on the head again, man. I love it. Absolutely.
I got a hammer over here, man.
Hammering, putting down them nails, man. Putting down them nails. But sadly, though, that does bring us to the end of our episode. We want to thank everyone so much for watching today's episode 104 of Final Score, and supporting the show. We appreciate it more than you know. And we'll say now, too, we also have finally surpassed 3,000 downloads on Podbean. And we thank you guys so much for helping us reach this milestone. It really means the absolute world to us. So take a moment right now. You got everybody out there needs to take a bow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you. Seriously,
you guys are awesome.
Yes.
I was so glad to be here, man. I really appreciate you having me on the show today. I was pumped. I was excited. And I just personally like to thank all of the Final Score fans, all the Podcast City Network, and all the Urban Nerd Weekly fans for tuning in and nerding out the Final Score today.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Big shouts out to you guys.
And thank you so much, Spayce, for coming on. We love you so much having you on the network. And, man, we definitely got to bring you back on sometime.
Definitely. Since I got into sports, I was kind of ready for it. I was waiting for this because we talked about it a while ago, so I'm glad we was able to knock it on out.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Finally. But sadly, though, that is our show. Thank you guys so much again for watching. But until next time, I'm Chris, and that is where is he at? That's Spayce.
I was
sure I point in the right direction.
Here. It's your boy Spayce was here, and now I'm
taking off. That's right, guys. Y'all have a great night.
Podcast City Network.